We've already talked about the importance of having a business bank account, and a few of you asked in the comments what I think of Starling Bank. So, you asked, I shall deliver. In this video, I will let you know exactly what I think of Starling Bank. Hiya folks, welcome back to the Small Business Toolbox. I'm Andy Mack and I've been self-employed for ages and ages. In today's video, I'm going to give you a full rundown of Starling Bank, what I think of it. I'll give you a full guided tour of the mobile app and the desktop app, and I'll also let you know how long it took to set an account up. For me personally, this is a really interesting review because I think this marks the end of the High Street Bank as we know it. If you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know that I'm a big fan of challenger banks such as Tide and Starling and all that sort of thing. I think the big boys have had the monopoly for far too long, and I think it's about time we got some good competition on the market. Tide are fantastic if you just want a really quick basic business bank account and you're not particularly bothered about international payments. If you do need international payments though, as I've mentioned before, it's probably not going to be the best account for you. Up until recently, if you wanted a fully fledged bank account with FSCS protection and an IBAN and BIC and all that sort of thing, really the only option was to go down the High Street Bank route. But thankfully, that's no longer the case. Starling is a fully regulated UK bank with your normal £85,000 FSCS protection. You'll get an IBAN and BIC as standard, so international payments aren't a problem at all. There's no monthly fees and there's pretty much no transaction charges for kind of day-to-day transactions. As far as I can tell, it does everything a high street bank does, only without the high street. And it's way quicker to set up an account. So as per usual on this channel, videos like this are only possible with the help of you guys. So if you are thinking of opening a Starling bank account, if you could do me a massive favour and use the link either in the description or just visit smallbusinesstoolbox.uk/starling. And don't panic, I'm not giving them a positive review because I'm an affiliate. I started using Starling way before I became a partner with them, and as per usual, I only recommend companies that I either currently do use or would consider using myself anyway. It's not in my interest to recommend companies that are rubbish. It takes a long time to put a video like this together, and it's not worth the effort of me putting a video together if I haven't already done my homework on it. So first of all, the application process. The process itself is very straightforward. You do it all through the app on your phone. So you just go to the App Store and you download the Starling Bank app, and then you'll see the option on there to set up a new account, and you just follow the steps that it takes you through. It took me no longer than about 10 minutes to go through the application process, and then it took about 3 days for the account to activate. So it took about 3 days before I had an account number and sort code, and it was about the same length of time before the cards turned up as well. Talking of cards, you get as standard a Starling Bank World debit card. So it seems to be a MasterCard variant, but it's a debit card in the true sense of the word. Chip and pin, contactless, all your usual kind of stuff. And I've used it for a lot of different types of transactions and I've had no problems whatsoever. So yeah, 3 days for the account to activate. It's nowhere near as fast as Tide, which was almost instant, but you have to bear in mind that Starling is a fully regulated UK bank, so I would imagine the application process, they'll have checks and things to do at their end, so it does make sense that it takes a little bit longer. And may I add that not that long ago I opened a business account with Barclays, and that took almost a month before I had a sort code, an account number and a functional bank account, so 3 days is pretty good. It's also worth mentioning as well, if you still accept more traditional forms of payments such as cheques and cash, you'll be fine with Starling. I'll go into the cheque side of things very shortly, but you can accept cheques fine. You basically just take a photograph of the cheque. You don't even have to go anywhere with it up to a certain value. I'll talk about that later on. And you can just bank cash at the post office, so cash isn't a problem either. In fact, the only thing that might cause a problem if you are used to going through traditional high street banks is that as standard you don't get a checkbook. So if you still rely on cheques, then you're probably still stuck with high street banks for now, I'm afraid. But I haven't written a cheque in, I can't remember, years, literally years since we've written a cheque. Checks are gone from our lives. We just don't use them anymore. They are outdated technology. I know a lot of businesses still use them, so do bear that in mind. Accepting checks is fine though. So let me take you through the mobile app first of all, and then I'll show you the desktop app as well. Right, so I'll open the Starling app first of all, and I've got it set to use fingerprint logon. It's up to you whether or not you want to use fingerprint or a passcode or whatever. And then that's us into the app itself. And we've got a really nice straightforward opening screen. We've got the current account balance showing at the top of the screen there. There's also the little plus sign there, and that just tells you about how to add money into the account. So you've got your account sort code and account number. You've got some information about check deposits and cash deposits and whatnot. Down here, we've got how much we've spent today, which is 0 for a change. And then if we just do a swipe to the left, it tells us how much we've spent this month in total. It's the start of the month when I'm filming this, so luckily that figure's quite low. If you then tap on that, it gives you a breakdown per category, basically. You can see up in the top right here, we can switch between different accounts. So for example, you could have a personal account and a dollar account and a euro account and stuff like that. So you can add extra Starling accounts in there, and that's where you would switch between your different accounts at the top right there. If you tap at the bottom right, that then shows all of your transactions. So it's a bit of a tricky one to show this because I'm going to have to blur most of it, but it just shows you all of your income and expenditure. But one of the really nice things that you can do here is that you can add receipts onto each transaction. So for example, if we take this one here to Blueberry Podcasting, £9.29, we can see we've got the category is set as equipment at the minute. It's probably not the best category. We can change that. Let's change it to, we'll make it professional services. And then what I can also do is attach a receipt onto it. So say, for example, I've got a photograph of the receipt or a PDF or something like that. You just do attach, and you can see here you can write a note. So you could do a little note to say what that transaction's for. Or you can take a photo to add a photo from your library, add a PDF from your library, and you can share transactions and attachments as well. So that's all straightforward. I'm not going to do that at the moment. What you can also do is click the improve option there, and you can do things like adding a logo or improve the name and address location, stuff like that. Generally speaking, you're probably not going to need to do that, but it's quite a nice feature to have. Let's say you want to have a look at all the transactions to Blueberry. Let's just search for that. BLU. There's Blueberry has come up there. I've just searched for BLU, and it's got all of the Blueberry transactions that we've had. You can see each one I've got in a different category at the moment. I'm going to change all of these to professional services. And it's as easy as that. So if you just want to have a quick look at all of your transactions to a particular payee or everything you've received from a particular person, then this is a really easy way to do that. And then the only other thing that I've not shown you is just the options, which is in the top left here. Again, we've got account details at the top, spending patterns underneath home. So I can go through by month. I've got July, August, September, October at the top there. And then you can look at all of your spending habits by category or by merchant. Spaces is kind of like separate sub-accounts, basically. So you can go into here and you can create, say for example, you're saving up for a car or something like that. Then you can click the add little thing there, saving space, we'll call it car, create. If we then click here, we can set up a target amount. So say for example, we want to get to, I don't know, £10,000. And then just click save at the top right there. And then what you can do is add money into that kind of separate little pot there. So say, for example, you want to put some of your current balance into your car fund, then just put 2,000 there and do add. I'm not going to do it because I'm not saving up for a car, but it's just kind of separate sub-accounts to kind of, you could have a sub-account for your tax that you owe, for example. It's all still in your main account, but it's divided off from your main transactions. I'm going to get rid of that. Just click on that, little dots at the top, delete, gone. What else have we got? We've got payments. So everyone you've paid before will be shown in this list. If you want to pay someone new, you just press a little plus at the bottom there. Pay a business or a person, whatever, we'll pay a business. You put a display name, account number, sort code. It does all your new checking to make sure that the name of the account matches up to the account number and sort code. Do continue, all the usual sort of things for adding a payee. You can also see your scheduled payments in here, which are basically standing orders. So there's a one there. And if you want to get rid of a standing order that you've set up or a scheduled payment, you can cancel it from there or edit it from there as well. You just set up the scheduled payment when you're going through the pay option in here. So you would set it up as a scheduled payment. I'm not going to go through that. It's very straightforward what you have to do. But if you're wondering where your standing orders and direct debits are, they are in that scheduled option. And by the way, direct debits and standing orders all seem to be kind of bundled together here. So if I click on this one here to PayPal, I can see that's a direct debit. If I click on this top one here, I know that that's just a normal scheduled payment. It's not a direct debit. We've then got the add money option. You can do check deposits directly from the app. So if I just click on that, all you do is take a photograph of the check. You do it by photo. You can deposit the check up to £500 literally by taking a photo of the check. So you don't need to go to the bank checks anymore, which is really nice. And it says there as well, if the check is for more than £500, you can post the check to them. So all you would do, click the little plus. How much is the check for? Let's say it's £600. So it says amounts over 500 will need to be posted, blah, blah, blah. And then it'll give you the details of how to do that. I'm not going to go through that because I haven't got a check handy, but very straightforward. And as I say, cash deposits you can just do at a post office. So you go along with your cash and you go along with your card and your app, and you can just bank it at the post office. Back into the main menu at the top left, we can also manage your cards as well. So if I click on card, if you've lost your card or it's been stolen or something like that, you can lock it from here. I'm not going to lock my card, but you can literally just click that little button there and lock the card, control the card, order a replacement card, get a PIN reminder, have a look at the card payment limits and all that sort of thing. Again, very straightforward. Marketplace is for things like integration with different apps, such as we've got, let's have a look. I'm not going to set it up at the minute, but we've got integration with Xero and various other kind of accounting packages and things like that you can do through here. And then finally, we've got account management. So account management, we've got business details, account information. You can apply for a loan or overdraft. You can manage your overdraft. You've got subscriptions, which now this is the business toolkit thing. I'm going to talk about this on a separate video because it's quite a big topic, but this is where you more or less have a fully functioning accounts package built into it, but you do have to pay extra for that. But I'm not going to go into it in this video. And then you've just got personal details and all that sort of thing. So that is the app in a nutshell. Nothing more to it than that. Nice and straightforward. Back to the home screen. Just to summarize, for day-to-day stuff, we've got how much you've spent today, how much you've spent for the month. And if you want to pay someone, you just go into the top there and go to payments, click the little plus, put their details in like you would for any online transfer. That's all there is to it. Really straightforward. Now, let's have a look at the desktop app. So I'll quickly show you around the desktop app. There's a couple of extra things you can do in the desktop app, so it's worth having a quick look. Just visit starlingbank.com from your computer or whatever. Just click on log into online banking at the top right. You then get this screen here, just click login. And what it's going to do, it's going to authenticate with your mobile app on your phone. So all you need to do, put in your account number, put in your phone number, and then click where it says login with the Starling app. So you should then get this notification on your phone, and it should say logging into online banking. So it might ask you to authenticate if you haven't already done so, but either way, just click login. So if everything's gone according to plan, that should automatically log you into the desktop app, and this is kind of your default home screen on the actual app on your computer. So you've got a list of recent transactions, you've got your current balance, what your spending is and all that, and then you've got the menu down the left hand side here, and each screen you'll find has got a few extra menu items across the top here as well. So if I click on spending first of all, that just kind of brings us into a summary of what we've spent so far in that particular month, along with money received down towards the bottom there. You've then got statements. I'll go through statements in a bit more detail in a minute because there's some quite interesting things with the statements. Then over on the left, if you just click on payments, first of all, that shows you all of the payees that you've already got set up. So if you want to pay someone that you've already got, then you just click on pay there, or you can add a new payee at the top right there. You've also got scheduled payments there. We've talked about scheduled payments before. You can see straight away these are all separated out on the desktop app, whereas they're all kind of together on the mobile app. So it's quite nice having them separated out like this, I think. So in scheduled payments, these are literally your equivalent of standing orders, basically. If you're used to what a standing order is, this is kind of a modern day equivalent of a standing order. You've then also got your direct debits there as well. So you can, if you've got a direct debit set up and you want to cancel it, this is where you would cancel it from. And this is a really nice feature that I haven't seen this on many bank accounts before. But this is recurring card payments. So this is where you've set up a payment using your bank card, and maybe it's a recurring payment of like a monthly fee for something or a yearly fee. This is where those recurring payments show up for your account, and it means you've got control of those directly from within the desktop app, which is really handy. It means that, I mean, generally I would always say if you are going to cancel a card recurring payment, try and do it from the merchant side. So go into that person's website or whatever and do it from their side, because it can sometimes cause problems cancelling a transaction from your bank account side. But if you've got a situation where for whatever reason you've set up a card payment, like a recurring card payment, and you can't cancel it for some reason, then you can do it through your actual desktop app here. I'll not go into spaces because we've already talked about that, and I'm not going to go into loans either. But if you were, I think if you're applying for like the COVID bounce back loans and all that sort of thing, you could do that through there, but that's on the home screen as well. So we'll jump down to the card section, and within here you've got a few extra options. You can see the card is unlocked, but if you lost a card you can lock it from here. You can also control whether or not that card is capable of doing ATM withdrawals or whether it's capable of doing online payments. And this is interesting, you can block gambling payments as well from here, which is quite a nice feature. And then finally, into account details down the left there, we've just got all the information about the account. So you've got your account number, sort code, IBAN, BIC. So if you're wondering what your IBAN is, this is where you can find it out from. You've also got business details and personal details all up at the top there as well. So let's go back and have a look at statements that I was telling you about before. And I have to say, first of all, hats off. Once again, it was the same with Tide. I loved the way that they designed everything. Same with Starling here. Starling have done a really nice job on this. They've kept it really simple. And it's something that, it's always a bugbear of mine with some of the big banks. And I've worked with most big high street banks over the years. And their internet banking is historically awful. And this is just beautifully done. It does everything you need it to do. So if I want to download a statement, all I do is click on the little download thing here, and I can download it either in CSV or PDF format. So if you want to download a statement that you can import into a spreadsheet or into your accounting software or whatever, then this is where you do it from. You can also create a custom statement over the right hand side here, and same again. You can download it in CSV or PDF format. Really, really straightforward. And then the other thing that I really like about this is that the statement format is just what you need a statement format to be. There's nothing fancy, no bells and whistles, no pointless day-by-day running balances and things that just make it really difficult when it comes to doing reconciliation. We've just got money in, money out, and we've got an end-of-day account balance down the right-hand side. It's just the way statements are supposed to look. I hate it when banks make statements overly complicated. Barclays, I'm looking at you, Barclays. Barclays statements are a nightmare when it comes to reconciliation because they give you a daily running subtotal, and it's so easy to accidentally enter the same transaction twice or to miss a transaction because you can't follow it through step by step. Whereas with this Starling Bank statement, it's exactly how you need statements to look. So thank you for that, Starling Bank. You've done it exactly the way it should be done, and it makes it much less stressful when it comes to reconciliation. And that is it. That is the desktop client for Starling. There's nothing more to it than that. Really nice and simple, really fast, does everything that you need it to do. I've been very, very happy with it. We've also, I was saying here, we've got the business bounce back loan scheme here and the coronavirus business interruption loan scheme here as well. So if you need to apply for those, that's where you can do it from. So there you go, folks. I genuinely can't think of a reason to use high street banks anymore unless you desperately need a checkbook. I've been using Starling myself for a good few months now and I'm absolutely blown away by it. It does everything I need it to do and more, and it's to the point that I've actually closed my old Barclays international account. I just don't need it anymore. I'll make a video about that separately, I think, because my experience with Barclays was pretty dire, to be honest. In a nutshell though, the Starling Bank account is way faster to set up, fully FSCS protected, so you've got your protection up to £85,000 for any money that's sitting in the bank account. You get an IBAN and BIC as standard, so you can receive international payments absolutely fine. You can also set up a US dollar and a euro account if you want. You do have to pay extra for that, but it is an option if you need it. The mobile and desktop apps are an absolute pleasure to use. I can't fault them at all. And best of all, it's free. This is the final nail in the coffin for high street banks as far as I can tell. And if you're slightly worried about not having a branch that you can go to and you think that you're going to get somehow lower levels of customer service because the high street branch doesn't exist anymore, well, for my Barclays account, I couldn't even deal with them through the high street branch. I had to do everything either on the phone or through like a messaging app. The messaging app, normally for me, for whatever reason, just didn't work. And over the last 6 months, I've literally not been able to get in touch with Barclays on the phone at all. So it's not been good. Funnily enough, the only time someone from Barclays actually bothered returning my call was when I was closing my account. And they didn't even ask why I was closing my account. I was very disappointed with the whole situation. On the flip side, the support I've received from the challenger banks like Tide and Starling has been top notch. It's been very fast all through their online app and I really can't fault it. It's like they actually want my business. As per usual, I'll also write a review article to go alongside this video and there's a link to that article in the description below. So obviously it's easy for me to keep an article up to date. It's not so easy for me to update a video once it's published. So if you want to see, if you're watching this a bit later down the line and you want to see what I still think about Starling, then check out that article and you can find out, because I will keep that up to date. So folks, if you found this useful and you want to give Starling a try, if you could do me a massive favour, as mentioned before, and use the link in the description or just visit smallbusinesstoolbox.uk/Starling and use that affiliate link. It doesn't cost you a penny extra and it just helps me to make more independent and honest videos such as this on this channel. So thank you. If you've had a bit of a nightmare with the big high street banks over the years, or perhaps you've already got a Starling Bank account and you want to let us all know what it's been like, do let us know in the comments below. In the meantime, folks, as per usual, please take care. Good luck on your small business journey and I shall see you next time. Tatty bye!